Hey, hi. In this video, we're gonna see how to enable ETL job for incremental data load from Amazon RDS MySQL database to Amazon Redshift cluster with using AWS Glue. So as you see in this PPT depicts my demo. Here I'm gonna show you how to enable Amazon RDS MySQL database table, how to set up the Amazon RDS Redshift cluster, and here Amazon RDS MySQL database table is acting as a source database that needs to be migrated to Amazon Redshift cluster, which is providing as the data warehouse capability from AWS with using AWS Glue, right? So the connection would be from Amazon RDS MySQL with using JDBC connections through the AWS Glue, and then finally we will load that data into a Redshift cluster with using Redshift connections. So here we will see that how we can load the data completely from Amazon RDS MySQL database to Amazon Redshift cluster for the first time. And as the transaction happens on the source side, that is Amazon RDS MySQL side, how to load the incremental data on the Amazon Redshift cluster with using this AWS Glue job. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna take you to the my AWS account. So this is my AWS account, and currently I'm in Oregon region, and I'm in Amazon RDS service page. I have opened another two more dashboards. So another two more tabs, and one is for AWS Glue, which is acting as our ETL service. And then we have another tab called for Amazon Redshift, and all the three are belongs to Oregon region. So this ETL data setup, ETL solution setup is being done on a Oregon region. So what I do is I'm going to show you that in how to set up Amazon RDS MySQL database for the first, and then I'm going to take you to the the next consecutive resources. As you see here, my RDS MySQL database is already been enabled, because creation of Amazon RDS instances will take us some time. So for that sake, I know I have already pre-created, but let me show you how to create a RDS database. Just click on that orange button and create a standard, and then you're going to choose this MySQL option, that is engine type equal to MySQL. Yeah, and then we're going to go down, and you see that we are using MySQL community edition here. So by default I'm using the engine version, so this is the engine version. And here I have chosen dev test a template, because this is a demo purpose, but in production you can use production a template. And then we have in the availability and durability configurations we have. You can provide your username, and you can provide passwords here. I can mention this down the line. Confirm your passwords, okay. And then you have instance configurations, which you can keep it default. So right now I choose the standard classes, and then we have a storage. I have kept it all default. In the connectivity, I have used don't connect to an EC2 compute resources. So don't set up connections to the compute resources for this data pad. You can manually set up the connections to the compute resources later. Okay, so basically these are all the capabilities. So I have chosen this one, and then this instance will be hosted in the default VPC, which is there in my this region. This is Oregon region. So whenever you create an AWS account and go to the Oregon region, you will find a default VPC. So that's what I have chosen here. And then we have chosen the database subnet belongs to that VPC. And then I have chosen public access, because this is a demo. So that's the reason I have used public access, which means that you can access your RDS MySQL database instance over the internet. Nothing but with this approach I can access it from my laptop, or else I need to go to this VPC, create a jump server, first log into the jump server, then I need to take RDP of this RDS MySQL database. So that's what happens when you don't choose public access. For now, since it's a demo, I have used public access so that I can access this instance and configure the required configurations. In the VPC security group, we have chosen the default security group. So in this security group, we have allowed the inbound port for MySQL, that is So there is a MySQL the port which you need to enable as an inbound on this one. If you go to the security group, which I'm going to show you right away after this the walkthrough, and then if you go down to the database authentication, so you can choose the either of the one. So basically here we choose password authentication, and then I'm just turning off all monitoring things because it will gonna cost me. So I just turned off the monitoring configurations in the estimated cost. This is the estimated cost, and I clicked on create database basically, and it has created a database instance, something like this. So once you click on this one, so this is the RDS MySQL database, and the status is in available, and class is this one. Yeah. And if you go to the connectivity and security, you will find an endpoint which is nothing but EFQDN, through which you can access this instance from the internet or from your laptop. To connect to this particular the RDS MySQL database instance, I am using client called MySQL Workbench. So you need to install MySQL Workbench. So then only you can connect to this, and I'm going to show you how did I connect it to this database. So what I do is I have this MySQL Workbench client is been configured. So to connect to this database, I just go on plus mark, and then so then here we're gonna use some name, like say blah blah name, and then give this endpoint. So this is the endpoint, so which you can give it here in the host name. Yeah. So let me copy it again, so which didn't copy, so I'm just copying again, and then putting this host name. The username is default as you saw, that is username was admin, and then in the password you give the super secret password, that is this is my super secret password for this instance. So you can give this like this. Yeah. So for example, say here I'm just giving the name like this. Yeah. And then you can do a test connection. So what does that test connection do? Basically it will try to connect to that particular database instance. Yeah. So you see that successful made the MySQL connection, in the sense it is able to establish. Okay. So the MySQL port number is 3306. All right. So once you're done with that, click on OK. So which will look something like this. So this is MySQL, the connections, and from here, I was able to access my database. Yeah. So in this database instance, I have created a database called UserDB. In that UserDB, I have a table called cloudquicklabs RDS table 1. So in that table, so basically I created this table. Yeah, if I can expand this one. So we have a set of columns here. So if I can expand the column as well. So I have these many columns. In these columns, I have inserted some set of values, which I'm going to show you right away. So if I do a select star from that particular table, we will have a 4 rows for now, right? So these are the data which is there. So basically, what does this mean? In the sense, you have an application which is writing the transaction data into this Amazon RDS database, and so this is how for now you consider that your application data on Amazon MySQL database is looking something like this. Now you want to achieve those data warehouse capabilities, say like you want to have a reporting capability, you want to have build the machine learning modules, you want to have the visualization with using QuickSight or Power BI. So in that case, it makes sense for you to migrate this data into Amazon Redshift cluster. So Amazon Redshift cluster is a service which actually provides a data warehouse capability. So data warehouse capability is nothing but the services meet for storing a huge amount of data, and generate a value out of it basically. Yeah? So that's where, and the values which I explained earlier, right? So for example, say you want to do a reporting, enterprise reporting, you want to do a visualization, you want to build up machine learning capabilities, you want to build a new workflow on those legacy data, or on those the historical data. So this is the the data warehouse is a machine made for it, and the data warehouse service is made for it. And Amazon Redshift is an instance of data warehouse service. All right. So that is all about our source side. Now let's jump to the Amazon Redshift cluster side. I'm going to show you that. So Amazon Redshift is acting as a data warehouse, or as I explained here. To create a data warehouse, what you do is so you're gonna go to this serverless dashboard, and there is an orange button called Create Work Group. So orange is AWS color. So you're gonna give the name of your work group name. So basically, when you create a Redshift cluster, it actually creates a big container called work group. Underneath that, it will create a namespace which is actually acting as the the RDS instance. So here I have chosen the base capacity as I said. and we are using the same VPC which was used for RDS. So then we go to the namespace. As I said, namespace is the actually instance of Amazon Redshift serverless. Okay, so here also I'm going to give blah blah name, and then credentials. So basically the username is admin, and then you're going to give the manually added password. So this is my super secret password, right? So this is what the password I have given. In the permissions, we're going to add an IAM rule, something that is ETL access rule, which I have shown it multiple times. So the same rule I'm using it here. In the encryption, I don't want encryption because this is a demo. And then so just click on create. So basically it will create a work group, something like this. So creation of a Redshift cluster will take some time. So, and then this is how it looks. If you click on this one, there is an option called query database. Yeah, so click on that query data. It will take you to the Redshift query editor page, so which will look something very cool like this. So I have already tried this one, in the sense I have already built this ETL pipeline. So I'm just walking you through right now in this lab session. So here in the default database called dev, we have a schema called public. In that schema, we have created a table called, so I have created a table like this. So we created a table like create table, and these are the columns and these are the types. Okay, so basically, in the sense, this is a table to table migration. Yeah, all right. So that's the reason you need to build something like this, right? So, and if I can do a select star from that particular table, right now we have a 4 columns. In the sense, this pipeline is working, right? So now I have shown you the source and the sink here. Now let's go and explore how to construct this ETL, which is actually heart of the demo, right? So for that sake, I will go to the ETL service. Now let's see how to build this. Okay, so how to build that pipeline. So for that sake, what we do is something like this. Okay, so in this option, you see that there is an option called data integration ETL, right? There are lots of options underneath the AWS Glue service. So AWS Glue service is an amazing data engineering tool, which is basically used for extract, transform, and loading purpose. So in this one, we go to the data integration and ETL options, and there are lots of options here. So we're going to use Visual Editor, which is actually cool and very straightforward. So in this one, we're going to, you see that, so basically you need to give a title here. So let's give a title called demo. Yeah. And then I'm going to click it again. So here we need to choose the source. The source here I have chosen is relational DB. So you see that, I have chosen relational RDB, which is acting as our source. So click on that particular option. It will take you to the, the another option, that is data source property options. So in the data source property options, we need to give the data, we need to give the information so that it can construct the ETL pipeline for us. So for that sake, what I do is I will just call it as, I will give a name like demo MySQL. All right. So in this one, we're going to use the RDS connection. As I said, I was talking more about RDS connections. So for that sake, what you do is, you need to, we need to create a connections for this case. So we're going to use this, the database instance. So let me do it again. So if you click on a create connections and if you choose it, automatically it will list the RDS one. So this is our RDS instance, right? That is RDS MySQL database, and that is automatically appearing here. And it will identify what is the database that you have created, right? So it is automatically identifying it, called a user database. In that one, you need to give the user ID and password, because this is a JDBC connection. So JDBC connections happens with the username and password, right, over the endpoint, right? So then I'm just going to give that password here. So let me copy it again. I'm going to copy this again and paste it here, right? And give a name to your connection, right? So say like demo connections, demo equals something like this. Okay, then say like so in the network options, just keep it default for now. So I'll just give it and create, click on a create connections basically. So once you create a connections, you says, it's basically saying something is wrong here. So here you can choose basically, I'm gonna yeah, so we're gonna choose the table here. So basically SQL demo. So I have created multiple connections, right? You see that, this is the connections. So, and we need to give a table here. So what was our table basically? So if we go back to this one, so this is our table underneath database user DB. Table is, this is a table name. So we're going to copy that table name here and try to put in here, right? So basically with that option, so automatically you see that everything goes green. And in the IAM role, we're gonna choose an ETL role, something like this. Okay, so this is ETL role. Basically, this is an IAM role which has the admin access, and this has a trust relationship with the basically it has a trust relationship um, with the RDS machine. Okay, so that's the reason it is showing. So currently you see that the invalid exception there is, it says USV2 is not corresponding to subnet. Okay, looks like something has gone, but I'm going to reuse the MySQL connection, which is actually I previously created it, right? So yeah, so I will just say start session again. So this is basically like how I created a demo SQL div. So something like that I have created for for the MySQL one. Yeah, all right. So as you see here, MySQL connection is nothing but a connection which I created. Something I showed you how to create a connections. Okay. So what does this mean? In the sense, if I go back to the diagram, so AWS Glue is connecting to the Amazon RDS SQL with the connections, and that connection is called JDBC connections. And it need that connection because so that it can crawl the data from that particular table and push it into the Amazon Redshift cluster. Okay, so it needs to have access from there. So as you see here, so it is when you provide a connection data and provide a table name, what it does is it actually on the fly try to validate the connections, and also it actually previews the data present in the table. So currently it is loading the data which is in previous stage, so you need to be patientful here. And once that is done, so basically we are done with the connection between the Amazon RDS to AWS Glue. Okay, so now here you go, right? So if I go to the source side and do a select star from that particular table, yeah, so I need to select this and run this query. So basically so this is actually listing the data present in that table, right? So this is what it is even showing us, which means that our connection from the source side is correct. So I'm going to save this now and it should be done. Okay, now not only that, so basically we are set with the source. Now we need to do a destination here or target. So basically in data engineering, there are so many different names to the target, right? You call destination, targets, and sync. So here our target is Amazon Redshift, you see. So when I select the Amazon Redshift, it automatically draws that diagram, that is from demo MySQL to Amazon Redshift. So now we need to construct the properties of Amazon Redshift cluster. So let it be Amazon Redshift cluster, and the node is demo MySQL, and that is our actually the source, right? And the Redshift access property. So in the Redshift access property, we can directly go for direct connections. So to have a direct connections, we need to create a connection. So click on this connections, choose the Redshift cluster, and automatically it will show you the database username and password. So our password is very super secret password. This is my password. So basically when you create the Amazon Redshift cluster, you're going to provide these username and password. So that is the same password I'm giving, and let's give a different name, say like demo Redshift connections. Yeah, Redshift connections. So this is the name I'm giving. Okay, so and click on create connection, right? So and here also we need to give a schema. So the schema, it will automatically identify that is public schema. From the public schema, we also need to give a table name called this is the table name. Yeah, all right. So with that option, so basically if I go to the query editor, so our table name is this one, that is cloudquicklabs RDS table. All right. So for now, what I do is I'm going to delete every data present in this table. Yeah, for now. So I'm just so that delete trunc. So basically we will say delete from. Yeah, so just rewrite the query called delete. So what is I'm doing is I'm just cleaning this table so that I can show you that we can load it again. Yeah. So for now we are completely vacating the data present in the destination side, which I was previously done. So and again what I do is I'm going to select the table again. I'm going to run the query again this, and right now it does not has any data. Yeah. All right. So with that said, we will go back to this one. So this is our table name. So and then once we have selected the table which it has identified, next handling of the data and the target table. So How do you handle the data? So in this one, there are multiple options, that is append to the target table, merge data into the target table, truncate a target table, drop and create a target table. So in this one, best the use case that will hold good for incremental data load is merge data into the target table, which is the holistic need of everything. There are other use cases for append, truncate and drop as well. So for now, we will go for holistic requirement, that is merge data into the target table. All right, so here it will tell merge. When you ask me merge, so choose the which are all the key I need to choose. Basically matching key, in the sense here we need to choose the primary key basically. Yeah, so but in my case, in this case, I'm going to choose the table, the names. So what is this matching key? In the sense, choose one or more fields to be used to matching the key between the source and the source data and the table. Yeah, so like this. Yeah, with that option, so basically we have done with the the destination or the target property configurations as well. So with this, you're gonna click on save as well, so that just to validate the properties that you have provided are all correct, right? So with that, you can go back and just say like go to the ETL jobs. So right now we should have a two jobs because I created a two. So now in this one, I'm going to run this one. So in front of you, what I do is I'm going to run this job in front of you. So this running, so if you click on this one, it will show you the the details about what is happening. Everything is happening. So here, this is a core part of, this is a final part of the demo, and this is actually a tiebreaker in the sense it's going to show you that you can load the data from your Amazon RDS to Amazon Redshift with using AWS Glue, and here we are using the incremental load. Yeah, so first, for the first stretch, you are actually loading data whatever present on the Amazon RDS on Amazon Redshift, right? And the second step has to be incremental load. So let's see how does that mimics. Okay, so currently if I refresh it, it will take a couple of seconds, basically more than 30 seconds. And then from the destination side, let's keep on asking, keep on checking the data. So I'm expecting that the data has to be loaded here. So basically it is taking some time. You see that the status is currently in running, and as it runs, once the job gets completed, we will see that the data getting loaded in the destination side. So I'm just running this query again and again to just to check if the data's got loaded here. So I'm just rerunning it. Here you go, right? So basically in the source side, so if I run it from the source side, so we have a 4 rows. Now if I, once the job is got completed, if I refresh it here, so job is succeeded, and you are seeing that the same data is being uploaded into the targeted table. Yeah, so this table. All right, so now we will do one more thing, that is we try to modify the table, and then we see that whether that is replicating here. For that case, what I do is I'm going to delete this row purposefully, say like value z1, value z2, value z3, right? So let's delete that record and see if it if it syncs basically. Yeah? So I'm just clicking on, and just to say like yeah, so basically I'm just going to delete say like delete from this table where variables equal to, we're going to give this name, yeah, that is where, yeah, just where variables equal to value z3. Yeah, so this is value z3, so I'm going to copy that value z3, and I'm running a query in the source side so that I can delete the record. All right, looks like it is done. Now let's rerun the the select from that particular table, and let's see how many rows are there now. So now we have a 3 rows, right? And not only that, I'm going to change something in this one. Okay, so basically yeah, update. So basically so this is 3 records. So let's see if that changes happens if I do this. Okay, so for example, say what happens if I rerun it. Okay, so I go to the ETL job and try to run the ETL job again, and we need to wait that we need to wait for this job to get complete. Okay, so if I refresh it here, so you see that there is a one more job is running now, and let's see if that mimics, right? I'm just refreshing it. So not only that, we also can do a update table, in the sense if some of the rows are getting updated, does it really replicating in the Amazon Redshift, right? So like update SQL query. I'm just wanted to get the update SQL query from W3. So I'm just gonna go here and get the syntax, that is update this. Okay, so we will use this query and try to update the database. So we're gonna see this as well. So I'm gonna run this query again here, that is update this. So update this, yeah, and then we will say set variable equal to this, where okay, so where this column equal to that, yeah, something like that. So I'm just running an update query against that table while that is loading. So basically where we were here, we will see this. All right, so equals to something. All right, and I'm going to delete this off, and then we will say, so we will update. Okay, so basically let's see if the job got completed. Then I'm going to show you the one more thing. So looks like job is succeeded. We will see if that gets appeared in the destination side. So I'm going to show you here. So basically it didn't delete. Why? Because whatever the option we have chosen here is a merge, in the sense it just merges. Okay, so let me refresh it and rerun the query again. So select table and run this one. So basically what we are doing is, here you go, right? So now let's try to update the record and check that whether it is updates, basically, at least. Yeah, so what I do is I'm going to change this now. We will do the select star, right? So here I'm going to rerun this query again to get the the value, exact value, and then we're going to update it. So that is value x1. So where value x1, yeah, so value x1. So value x1 is something like this. This is value x1. I'm going to copy that, and we're going to run this query now. So basically we are running this query here, which means that in the value, basically in the value when the value in this field, the value x3 will gonna change it to value z3. Okay, so let's run this query. So I'm just running. So it looks like the query has run now, and just so here in the value x, the value the variable value should be changed. Okay, so just rerun it now. So once I rerun it, you see that the value x1, value x2, but the variable value is got changed to value 3. So this value got changed according to this query definition. So don't get confused. You can pause the video and check it again. So value got changed. Let's see if this gets replicated because of the job run. Okay, so for that sake, what I do is I'm going to go to the job and run the job again. So I'm going to read this job and say like run the job. So once I click on the run job, let's go back to the runs, click on runs, and currently it is running it here. So basically if I go to the ETL jobs and go to the demo jobs, go to the runs, and here you go. So we are running our third run, basically. So here I am showing you all the options. Okay, what happens and what does not happens if you choose merge options in the ETL glue. Yeah, so in the ETL AWS glue. So basically let's wait for a couple of seconds. Once it gets completed, I'm going to show you the result here. So we need to wait for at least 1 minute here. So as you see, the duration is 1 minute. So currently it is running, and if we go to the destination side and try to rerun the queries, let's see what happens. Okay, I'm just going to close it off, and we're going to rerun the query again to do a select star from the table and run this query. So currently it is running. So here value x, so I'm expecting this variable to be changed after completion of this job. Let's see if that happens. So what happening is, it is only doing a merger. It is not actually copy pasting. Yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, so if I can refresh it here, currently we need to wait for 15 more seconds, then it will automatically go in a completed state. or succeeded state. Here you go, it got succeeded. And if I run it again, let's see what happens. Here you go. So basically merger, in the sense it actually added a new rows. Okay, so this is what happens. You need to know what are the, what are all the options if you choose, and what happens in the destination side. Okay, so that was my main motive here. Okay, so here if you see, so we have value x1, value x1. So you see that we have a record like this, that is ending with x1, x2, x3, and we also have another table called so that is what the merger is option. So we also have another option called value x1, value x3, value z3. Yeah. So basically AWS thinks that, and data warehouse technology thinks that you need to have the data, all right, so in the destination side. So basically it is not losing the data, but it is actually accumulating the data, accumulating the rows, in the sense it is not meant to delete the rows, but whatever the changes gets replicated, it will mimic the changes in this one. Okay, and that could be controlled by the ETL job definitions. Okay, if you go to this definitions, and if you go to the if you go to the definition of your this one, and here this is where the the handling of the data and the target table. So these are all the four options which actually does the things differently. All right, and you can also use the custom merge statement as well. All right, so with that note, thank you very much for watching my videos. Finally, a kind request, please do subscribe my channel. That would really encourage me a lot. So with that note, thank you, thanks a lot, and see you in the next video.